Tonight, contract talks are underway between St. Louis County and its plow drivers. This as the threat of a strike looms.
And flu deaths double in Minnesota in just 1 week. What you can do to protect yourself from getting sick.
But first, 2 men are facing hefty charges after being connected to a fentanyl overdose death in Duluth last year.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. 2 men are behind bars tonight after a woman died of a fentanyl overdose in Duluth. Kyam
Dunn and Solomon Bird Jr. were each charged with aiding and abetting murder today. CBS 3's Natalie Grant joins us now. Natalie, do we know how the two are connected to the woman's death?
Yeah, Kristen and Tony, court documents show that back in September, the 23-year-old woman originally reached out to Dunn for help buying drugs. Dunn connected her with Bird, who, according to court documents, sold her heroin. She then went to a hotel in downtown Duluth where her mother and 3-year-old son were also staying. Early the next morning, the victim's mother found her unconscious in the bathroom. She called 911, and eventually the woman was pronounced dead. Law enforcement searched the room and found a piece of burnt tinfoil and a bag, both of which tested positive for fentanyl. Now, a judge set Dunn's bail at $100,000 today and Bird's at $150,000. Both are due back in court later this month.
And today we learned Dunn was previously charged with another murder case about 6 years ago. Do we know how he was connected with that crime?
That's right. Dunn was arrested and charged with being a party to a murder in the death of Garth Valine in Superior back in 2014. A jury eventually found him not guilty, but you'll remember that that was a botched robbery in which 5 people were originally charged.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Natalie. Well, we're also learning in all overdose deaths were up last year. According to the Duluth Police Department, 15 people died compared to 8 back in 2018. Police responded to 160 non-fatal overdoses in 2019, which is 62 more than the year before.
A police officer who's been surrounded by controversy has returned to work at the Duluth Police Department. You'll remember this video from 2017 that shows Officer Adam Hewitt dragging a handcuffed man down Duluth's skywalk, slamming his head into a metal door frame, and then not checking him for injuries. Police Chief Mike Tuscan condemned the actions and tried to have Hewitt removed from the force. After months of legal battling, it was ordered Hewitt must be reinstated. His first day back on the job was Monday. He is currently assigned to administrative duties. He was back pay was paid to Hewitt from June of 2018 to November of 2019. That amount totals more than $160,000.
Iron County authorities are investigating a toddler's death. Authorities were called to a home in Mercer around 9 Wednesday night. The 911 caller said a toddler was found unresponsive in a bathtub. The toddler was pronounced dead at a hospital about an hour later. An autopsy has been scheduled.
St. Louis County Union plow drivers have been in negotiations with county officials for several weeks. Now a strike could be coming in the next few days. Today is the final round of mediation between the Teamsters Local 320 union and county officials. So far, there is no word on if today's negotiations were successful. Teamster members voted almost unanimously last month to authorize a strike if their demands were not met. The nearly 180 union members are asking for changes to their wages, benefits, and health insurance. The plow drivers' official intent to strike was filed January 2nd. The union has the right to strike as early as Tuesday if demands are not met.
Let's check in with Dave for a quick look at the weather. Finally Friday here. How's the weekend looking?
Well, we'll first wrap up Friday. Started sunny, then the clouds filtered back in. Yeah. But those will clear out again tonight as that high-pressure system from the north continues to conquer the region. That'll clear things up, especially in Minnesota. And that means Minnesota low temps could go from 10 to 20 below, and we'll add in a wind chill factor as well. So there's a wind chill advisory out tonight for many Minnesotans. We'll show you who in a couple of more minutes here. In Wisconsin, it may try to stay a little bit cloudier and maybe a little bit snowier as well. A little lake effect is possible tonight and through tomorrow, at least for the eastern parts of Wisconsin and the UP. The western part of Wisconsin may join Minnesota on the sunny side. So our day planner for 3/4 of the region looks like this through the weekend. Tonight, clearing and cold, down towards 10 below here in the Twin Ports. Saturday for most of us, partly cloudy with a high of 13. And then Saturday night into Sunday, we do get 30% light snow chance for everybody, pretty much just light snow chances, and we'll talk about how long they'll last coming up in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. In just the last week, Minnesota flu deaths have doubled. According to the Minnesota Department of Health, as of yesterday, 16 Minnesotans have died from the flu.
CBS3's Caitlin Moffitt spoke with officials at Essentia and has the story.
Flu season is here, and it's hitting Minnesotans hard.
We can't always predict day by day, week by week, what the flu season's going to look like, but it's pretty much on par with past seasons.
The flu is in its peak stage through early February, and while flu deaths doubled from 8 to 16 in just a week, a doctor at Essentia says that doesn't mean the flu shot isn't working.
We are seeing a little bit of early influenza B, and typically we see A earlier in the season. But the flu vaccine that we're giving and that's provided nationally and locally includes influenza B as well, so you should be protected.
Among the 16 deaths in Minnesota, hospitalizations have soared well into the 700s. Although there haven't been any pediatric deaths in Minnesota nationally, there have been 35 deaths under the age of 18. That includes one report in Wisconsin Friday. Hospitalizations have also soared nationally.
Their estimate right now is 87,000 hospital admissions. So that's not just visits to the ER. That's people who get admitted, who need IV fluids, who need to be monitored, intubated.
With the flu shot, there are 2 different types to receive, and doctors say it's important to know the difference.
So the flu shot is not a live virus, so you can't get influenza from the flu vaccine. Now, there's a nasal flu vaccine. That is a live attenuated virus. So that you could potentially, if you had an adult immune system, you had something going on where you were susceptible to infection, you could.
Doctors urge you to get your flu shot to protect yourself and those around you.
Flu vaccine saves lives. So why wouldn't you change your practice? You know, we can't all just stay static and do the same thing.
Essentia added their clinics will continue to offer flu shots through early February.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin health officials say the flu claimed the life of a child this week. They were under 10 years old and from the southern part of the state. This is the first Wisconsin child to die from the flu this season. State health officials say the flu is hitting the entire state, but especially children. In all, 12 people have died and 622 have been hospitalized.
Millions of dollars could be on the way to Giants Ridge. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is recommending more than $8.5 million for the Biwabik ski hill. It's part of the Democrats' bonding proposal. The money would go toward new snowmaking infrastructure. Now, according to the governor's office, the current piping at Giants Ridge is 30 years older than it should be. Now, just a reminder, Minnesota's legislative session starts next month.
Flooding along Lake Superior could be an issue again this year. That's because the water levels on each of the Great Lakes were higher at the start of 2020 than they were at the start of last year. That's a concern because many record high water levels were set across the lakes last year. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is urging people impacted by the high levels in 2019 to be prepared for it to happen again this year. The 6-month forecast predicts the high levels will continue. Wetter and warmer conditions are contributing to the issue.
One Wisconsin man says the tension with Iran feels like history repeating itself. He was the youngest of 52 Americans taken hostage at the U.S. Embassy in Iran 40 years ago. Kevin Hermine now lives in central Wisconsin. He was just 20 years old when hundreds of Iranian students took control of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. A Marine security guard at the time, he was held hostage for 444 days. While he says much has changed between Iran and the United States since 1979, he remembers he and the other hostages hoped their country would send a strong message without provoking unnecessary violence. He believes that's what the U.S. has done and will continue to do.
We were waiting for some kind of action that might have let the Iranians know that the U.S. is a strong country, but not a vengeful country. And so for 40 years, the U.S. stood by and was very patient, and that patience ultimately ran out last week.
Hermine says he believes there's still an opportunity for Iran and the United States to come to a peaceful solution, but if any American lives are lost, those chances may disappear.
Wildfires burning out of control have killed hundreds of millions of animals and left many more hurt and homeless. CBS3's Alex Libby met with locals and organizations stepping in to help and shows us how you can too.
After seeing the devastation left behind by Australian wildfires, lots of local people are working to help.
It's very important that we all give what we can, and we are able to bring awareness as an organization to this issue.
Haley Cope with Lake Superior Zoo says donating is one easy way to help, but make sure your money goes to the right place.
And one of those ways is visiting our website, and we're going to give you a full list of organizations that you can donate to that are helping all the different species, mammals, birds, and reptiles that are being affected.
Another way to help, just grab some yarn.
You can knit or sew or craft different items for animals in need.
Katie Ryder with Yarn Harbor says crafting for charity is not only good for the animals, it's good for her.
Knitting and crochet, for me personally, have just been really enriching. The fact that I can do it charitably, that I gift to people that I love, and it's just a great way, kind of a meditative way to spend your time.
When it comes to Australia, Ryder says, make sure you're crafting things that will help, like sewing joey pouches.
The last thing you want to do in times of high crisis like this is to inundate an organization with an item that they don't need.
Bottom line, Cope says there are other simple ways to raise awareness.
You can go to our page and share one of our posts, or you can go to Zoos Australia or the Australian Zoo.
If you want to donate money or craft items, we have information on how you can do that on our website.
Still to come, for the first time in more than 20 years, the Packers and the Vikings are both playing in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. What this means for local bars, coming up next.
Record high temp for today, 47 degrees from 1912. Well, that one's going to hold on for another year because we didn't get close today, and it will get colder tomorrow. Arctic outbreak coming for at least the first half of the weekend. We'll talk about the second half in more detail coming up after our break.
Hi, I'm Dr. Joshua Kropko, a primary care physician at St. Luke's PS3D Medical Clinic. Family medicine interests me because it's a perfect blend of science and critical thinking and a way to give back to the community. Within medicine, I'm most passionate about mental health, addiction, and preventative care. It's important for people to have a primary care physician because they're your frontline partners in health. Yoga for me is stress relief. It's an hour of calm and you can just focus on yourself. What patients should know about me is that I'm here to listen and to work with them where they are to get to where they want to be.
Now for a limited time, lease an F-150 for just $279 a month or get over $10,500 in total savings. Only at your Northland Ford dealers.
My derm just let me in on her little anti-aging secret, glycolic acid.
New from Revitalift, Dermintensive's 10% pure glycolic acid serum. With our highest concentration of glycolic acid in a serum, resurfaces skin to visibly reduce dark spots starting in just 2 weeks and reduces wrinkles for a more even skin tone. Powerful results, validated by dermatologists.
There's a reason dermatologists love it.
New Revitalift glycolic acid serum from L'Oreal.
We're worth it.
Get ready for our annual karaoke contest at Bad River Lodge and Casino. One night only, Saturday, February 22nd. Win up to $1,500. Sign up today, call ahead with your music request, and we'll see you at Bad River Lodge and Casino.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm.
For up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Stay away from here.
Live local weather coverage on CBS3 Duluth.
When news happens, CBS3 is there. The smoke is still really heavy. You can smell it.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm.
Anytime, day or night.
And while this is a very active scene, the public is being asked to stay away from the area.
Good afternoon, I'm Kristen Bakke. We're cutting in with a follow-up to some breaking news out of Cloquet this morning. CBS3 first got word of this fire and went to the scene at around 3:30.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3.
As of now, the count is over 120 million.
I spoke to Secret Service. They could tell from the ink that it was generated in North Korea.
You're talking about a worldwide criminal operation.
Exactly.
New Hawaii Five-0. Then.
Stand back.
He knows everything. We gotta alert security. There's a killer loose in this building.
A new Magnum PI right after a new Hawaii Five-0. Tonight on CBS.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Arctic air is coming to call once again. So yesterday, cloudier, a little snowier for some towns. Now, turnabout fair play. Arctic air coming in from the northwest means a wind chill advisory overnight tonight for inland parts of Minnesota. Twin Ports, North Shore, you're probably off the hook. Same deal for folks in Carleton and Pine counties, but otherwise, yeah, if you're a Minnesotan, feels like temperatures will be at least in the 30 below range, while actual air temps could be down towards 20 below. Not quite as cold for Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula. In fact, a little chance for light snow could still cling to folks there, especially along the snow belt through tomorrow before a new low-pressure system brings a chance for light snow to everybody come Saturday night and Sunday. We'll show you the latest estimates on that coming up in just a little bit as well. But we will show you what's happening right now, current condition-wise at Duluth Airport. It's only 4 above, so the colder air is already coming. Skies, well, started off on the sunny side this morning, then became cloudy. As we go through the night, the high pressure advancing will thin out the clouds once again. Northwest wind, it's going 12 miles per hour, 55% for the relative humidity. And taking a look at what's happening as far as the Doppler map goes, well, a couple of light snow showers are still trying to creep in from yesterday's system at the same time that that higher pressure comes in from the northwest. But this will mostly primarily affect northern Wisconsin and the UP tonight. Again, Minnesotans will clear and cool perhaps more rapidly than the rest of the region, which then sets us up for a fairly chilly day here on Saturday. Again, Minnesota low temps could go 10 to 20 below tomorrow, and Wisconsin, Michigan low temps, so about 5 below to 5 above there. Maybe even 10 above if you push it closer to the lake. But fairly chilly even for January standards. Not bitterly cold, but brisk, invigorating. Yeah, we'll put a polite term on it. Again, things will change up a little bit as Saturday goes on. The higher pressure will already start to retreat, and lower pressure from the west will advance. And once we get into Sunday, even late Saturday night, our next snow chance comes aboard. But right now, it looks to be just a 30 to 50% snow chance here. And with a little lake aggravation added in, if any accumulations happen, it likely will be closer to the shores of Lake Superior, where folks could get 1 to 3 inches by about 5 o'clock on Sunday. The rest of the region, perhaps only a trace to an inch. So not a huge deal this time. Come Tuesday, maybe a slightly bigger deal, at least for a wider part of the region. Forecast tonight in Minnesota, there's those low temps as cold as even 25 below by International Falls, as warm as 0 by the lake. For Wisconsin and Michigan, low temps there could be as cool as 8 below in Superior to as warm as 5 above over towards Ironwood and Bessemer and Hurley, Wisconsin. Clearing to the west, but flurries could linger to the east in the snow belt, like I mentioned. For tomorrow, Wisconsin, Michigan, high temps 15 to 18. That's a little cooler than normal. And in Minnesota with sunshine, highs anywhere from 3 inland to 15 by the lake. That's cooler than normal. The extended forecast shows it won't stay that chilly forever. No, we get the sunshine for some towns on Saturday, but again, keep in mind 30% chance for light snow Sunday could lead to a 60% chance for another 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches worth of snow for everybody come Tuesday, which in turn also, my friends, gives way to another Arctic outbreak with low temps near 15 below by the end of next week.
Yeah. Tomorrow looks like a good day to stay in and watch football.
Yeah, it sure does.
Plenty of it going on.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Well, you know where else it's going to be cold, Kristen?
Where's that?
Lambeau Field. You know where it's not going to be cold? Santa Clara, California. Why am I talking about this? Well, for the first time since 1997, the Vikings and Packers have both made it to the NFL's divisional playoff
What
rounds.
a time to be alive.
Yeah.
While some fans might have hoped for a border battle matchup, the fact that they're each playing in separate games is actually really good news for local bars and restaurants, which get to cash in on twice the football.
Sounds like a good weekend. CBS 3's Emma Quinn spoke with local bars in the Twin Ports on how they're preparing for this big weekend of football. Emma.
That's right, Kristen, Tony. Now, bar managers I spoke with say they're anticipating some big crowds for the majority of Saturday and Sunday. Managers at Duluth's Tavern on the Hill say they already have groups up to 40 making reservations, especially for Saturday's Vikings game. The purple and gold is taking on the 49ers on the road in San Francisco. Tavern on the Hill say they're prepared for the large crowds, especially being an away game. Being right next to UMD, Tavern on the Hill expects Saturday to be comparable to a busy college football game day. They are anticipating their bar area to be the busiest, with families also in the dining room.
We're anticipating a huge crowd coming in. We're really excited. Our staff is excited, and we have a lot of guests already coming in with parties, which will be fun.
Managers are prepared for those who may have had too much to drink to help make sure they get home safely, either with cabs and Ubers. They say people can leave their cars in the parking lot overnight if needed as well. And coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear from bars across the bridge in Superior to see how they're preparing for the Packers' big game against Seahawks on Sunday.
Well, just under 40 minutes to go here at Amsoil Arena as UMD gets back to work in quest for that Penrose Cup. We're going to have a preview coming up in sports after this. Stay with us.
Save up to 40% in any in-stock Winter Columbia and the North Face at Northwest Outlet. CBS3 Live Cams are brought to you by Kohler Toyota. Presidential Award-winning service. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler. KohlerToyota.com.
Matt, what are you doing?
Well, I just called Arrowhead Transit's 800 number, and they gave me 10 different options, so I'm going to do all 10 of them at one time. Pretty smart, huh?
No, Matt, that is not smart.
Well, I don't have time to sit around all day.
Okay, watch this.
Thank you for choosing Arrowhead Transit. Your ride.
Hi, Mike. This is Yvette. Matt wants to talk to you.
Hey, Mike, how's it going? Yeah, I need to get to Walmart. Pick me up in 15 minutes. That's great. All right. Oh, you know the address, right? All right, thanks, Mike.
Okay, here's how it works. Each county in the Arrowhead now has its own option number. Since we live in Carleton County, our option number is 3. So I just dial the 800-862-0175. Then I hit option 3.
And that's it?
That's it.
Oh, hey, Mike. You wouldn't happen to need any pencils, would you?
How do I take the 2020 census? In March 2020, every address in the country will receive an invitation to complete a simple questionnaire. And there are 3 ways to respond. Number 1, do it online. Number 2, call by phone. Number 3, send it by mail. For those who don't respond, a census taker from your community will follow up and assist you. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
When news happens, CBS3 is there. The smoke is still really heavy. You can smell it.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm.
Anytime, day or night.
And while this is a very active scene, the public is being asked to stay away from the area.
Good afternoon, I'm Kristen Bakke. We're cutting in with a follow-up to some breaking news out of Cloquet this morning. CBS3 first got word of this fire and went to the scene at around 3:30.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, turn to CBS3.
When a crisis strikes, cash is the best form of relief. It can easily be transformed into health services, water, food, or clothes. Cash can travel everywhere and aid people all around the world. Donate. Smart. Fast. Donate cash.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Bakke, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Bakke. Tuesdays at 10 only on live local CBS3. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association.
It's been 6 weeks since the last time UMD has played at home, but that ends tonight when they welcome in Western Michigan. Our very own Kelly Hinseth is live at Amsoil Arena with more. Kelly?
Hey there, Neil. I can just feel the excitement right now as UMD heads back to NCHC play. I almost forgot where Amsoil Arena was tonight as I made my way. It's been 6 weeks since we broadcasted a game here in this building, so 6 weeks since UMD has been on home ice. And they fended pretty well away from home ice, but it all gets very important tonight as UMD returns to NCHC play, like I said, with a big test against Western Michigan as they continue the quest to gain points in order to get the Penrose Cup at the end of this season. Currently, UMD sits in 3rd place behind Denver in 1st place, or North Dakota in first place, and then Denver in second place. North Dakota with a commanding 4-point lead over Denver. So a win over Western Michigan tonight and tomorrow would go a huge way in getting UMD those much needed conference points. And luckily, they've got Scott Sandelin back on the bench. Head coach was absent from the team at the end of December when they played Merrimack. Also, UMD head coach or equipment manager Chris Garner, as they were off at World Juniors in the Czech Republic, and they finished just fine. UMD on a 4-game win streak. Cole Koepke on a 5-point scoring streak. It should be a good one as they are hungry to get the conference. 7:07 p.m. over on Fox Sports North tonight. Tomorrow we're back on My 9 Sports. I'll be between the benches. Should be a good one. Hope you tune in. But for Neil, for now, I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Kelly. One day remains before kickoff between the Vikings and 49ers in the divisional round. And overall, the series can't be any more even. The series record is deadlocked at 23-23-1. But the 49ers have the upper hand in the postseason, posting a 4-1 record against the purple and gold. Saturday's contest will be San Francisco's first playoff game since 2013, while Minnesota has made the postseason 3 times in the last 5 years. Head coach Mike Zimmer says that their recent postseason appearances will help them deal with all the distractions.
I do feel like us being in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago, we can draw on some things through that course of that process that we had. And one thing is, the number of media that's going to be out on the field before the game. As these games continue to get bigger, the distractions become bigger, and so I think we can draw on that. It's still going out and playing good football.
I hate to do this, but it's a bad anniversary for Vikings fans. Was it 4 years ago? Blair Walsh, the rest of the story. But hopefully that bad voodoo that we're used to around these parts is no more after the contest tomorrow.
Can you not talk about our kickers right now?
Hey, Dan Bailey's doing great. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, Blair Walsh was doing great that year too. So
remember, we're going forward with positive thoughts.
Right, positive thoughts.
Kristen's got us covered.
Yes.
Those, yeah. Thanks, Neil.
Well, before we go, here come the bride and the groom. The Duluth Wedding Show is this weekend. Hundreds of couples are expected to fill the deck on Saturday, checking out all kinds of wedding-related vendors. We have information on how you can get tickets on our website, CBS3Duluth.com.
All right, Dave. Pretty cold out there today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typical January weather.
Yeah.
We have a wind chill advisory for about 50% of our region.
Okay.
That's folks on the Minnesota side of life, especially away from Lake Superior. So the latest map will show that wind chill advisory will be in effect probably through about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Actual air temperatures in Minnesota could run from 10 below here at Duluth Airport to 25 below towards International Falls, and the feel-like temperature then at least 30 below. Yeah, the wind chill factor. Some people don't like it, but what it really means is if you have exposed skin, the heat will disappear from said skin as if it were really 30 below. So bottom line, bundle up or stay inside and enjoy. Tomorrow should be a decent day to enjoy, frankly, because high pressure coming aboard will make at least Minnesota and the western parts of Wisconsin very nice and sunny. It'll be a pleasant day to look out the picture window and see all that sunshine gleaming off the white snow. Speaking of snow, we do get a chance for snow for eastern Wisconsin and the UP Saturday afternoon in through Sunday. It fills into the rest of the region, but despite all of that, only 1 to 3 inches.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
CBS